All right, so I've been making a real fuss about cleaning this chassis in here. I've been avoiding it. I can't avoid it any longer. I've got all those parts down there that have to go on the car. I can't put any of those pieces on until I get this detailed and cleaned. The problem is that it realistically needs to be fully sort of sandblasted, but it's a world of work. So what do? Well, I've got to make a compromise, and the compromise is, what stuff do I use? Do I use the stuff that's factory color correct, which is next to impossible to find? It's a very flat, or do I just get it done? For the sides in here, this high body under sealant is what I'm using from Worth in here, and then over in here I'm using some chassis paint from a company called Pour 15. No, it's not color correct. No, it's not factory correct. It's not purist correct. But guess what? I just kind of don't care. It just needs to get done, and it should look reasonably good. So over on the passenger side of the car, we've got a previous repair right here that it looked like it was covered at one point, and then it's kind of all flaked off. I'm going to clean that up, going to clean that spot up. And then we're just going to detail all of this. We can see the overspray on this is the gas tank straps. We can see the overspray on this. Once again, this is not from Lawrence's paint job. This is from the crappy paint job it had before. Looking at the chassis over here, we can see that it's just missing paint all along here. I'm going to try and get the torches. I'm going to try and heat this up and sort of squish it back into a round status. Clean all this up. I've already started that side painting. That side I needed to make sure the chemicals and everything I had were working properly, so I'll show you that. On the driver's side, we can see that this here, right there, was a patch. This looked just like the other side before I did it. I didn't film it because I was just trying to get some hours underneath this thing just to get ahead of it. I didn't even initially notice this when I was painting it, and then I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And this is where the emblem on the outside, I believe it's the Pininfarina emblem, and I don't even have that emblem, but it's like somebody was trying to make this a complete, total smooth, no exterior badging on the car whatsoever. So that'll just be, I'll just nick that off. It's a little bit of body filler that's come through there. And nick that off, drill through it. But this side turned out pretty well.
I don't know about you, but when I'm falling asleep, I'm like fixing things in my head. And I get these great ideas. But some of them aren't so great. Kind of like this one, which was a little bit of a waste of time. But when I say a little bit, I mean totally. But hey, I got you to watch it, so it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, look at that, eh? Ouch. Got a nice sunburn this weekend. Real world bald man problems. Anyways, here's my tube right here. It's not working out the way I wanted to. I was hoping just to heat it and have it reform and just kind of push it back into space, but that's not working. So I'm going to end up cutting out a section of it and trying to repair it first. So I'm just going to try and nick out some right here, pull it out, and make a little repair piece. But first, before I do that, I got to take the emergency brake cable out of the vehicle. My original intent was to leave the cable in there and try and use it once the tube was heated, to use the cable to push up in a round sort of fashion, to push up to reshape it.
And that was part 2 of my not so good idea.
Didn't work very well. Anyways, the cable, I have a new cable, so I'm just going to cut the end off of it over there because it's funky. Get the cable out and then cut a section out of here.
Just in case you're wondering what cable this is the parking brake cable that goes from the lever in the car to the rear brakes. Notice the crazy angle of this cable. It's completely dead. It's not supposed to have a curve at all. I know what you're thinking, come on. Well, it's true. I will be replacing every stinking part on this car. One piece at a time. This is a tubing straightener, and it's pretty darn handy for anybody who doesn't have one. If you do a lot of brake lines and whatnot, get one of these. Yep, doughhead Canadian boy, back at it. Almost burnt my fingers. I've left the back of the original tube in there, and I'm just making this little repair piece. Leaving the rear piece in there just gives me more points to weld to. It turned out pretty good. And now for the part I've been dreading. Prepping and painting the rear chassis and the remainder of the inner paneling. I know you don't realize this, but there's probably about 3 days of work that I have not filmed. Remember that the longer strap is the side strap, the shorter one's at the top. Just a note for myself. Sadly, I refer back to these videos all the time for reassembly instructions. And there's no need for me to hide it, so I'm just gonna put these right out there from now on. Another rock solid product from Pour 15, rust neutralizer and paint prep. Keeping up with the theory that I'm replacing every single part on this car, yeah, I've got brake lines coming too. What are you looking at?
All these hoses.
What about them? They're all gonna get replaced.
I know. How it is. Where we're gonna get it from in small quantities.
I'm gonna have to order a roll of this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to order a roll. What am I gonna do?
Do it what?
Well, like I need all. It's all the same stuff, right? Goes all the way across.
Different size than that. So,
This here? No, I think that's the same size. Well, this is different. This is all the same size.
right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What choice do I have? It's gotta happen.
Now, a lot of you have said you like seeing everything, including the boring stuff. But really, the really boring stuff like me cleaning and taping? All right, it's your time. Here you go. And while we're talking about you, I want to say thank you to all of those of you who take the time to comment, to offer your help, and just even as simple as hitting that like button. You guys are my heroes. I'm getting dangerously close to this very pretty red paint. So I guess it's pretty simple. If I don't want black paint on the red paint, well then I gotta cover the red paint. It's funny because I've watched Lawrence tape off a car, the body shop guy, and he makes it look so easy. I mean, I got the job done, but I'm sure Lawrence is watching this right now, shaking his head.
Well, I think it's done. It's good from afar, but far from good. Anyways, let's take a look at it. It looks pretty good down there, actually. Alright, but now these side sills look like yuck. So when I said I don't care earlier, I do actually care. But the stuff that's way down there that's not going to be visible, well, I'm not so worried about being color correct down there. Now I'm going to work at these top panels, and I'm going to be a little more particular about what's going on there.
I'm going to carefully drill out the rivets in these manufacturer plates. I've picked a drill bit that's a generous amount undersized of the actual rivet size, with the goal of just drilling the center of the head of the rivet out. Once that's gone, I should be able to just use like a little hammer and a screwdriver and just easily knock that head off.
Alright, so obviously this area is a bit more critical than the other stuff. It's much more visible. I believe I've got the correct stuff. It's made by Sem. It's a black trim paint, and it's supposed to be closer to the factory black that was on this car. I'm going to give it a shot right here and see how it works. Alright, so thank you for watching part number 16. Finally, I can start putting the suspension back in this car in the rear of it. I'm really excited about that, so check out part number 17.